Healing childhood wounds is a journey that requires patience and compassion. Sometimes it feels like you're moving forward, and other times, like you're stepping back. This back and forth is a natural part of the process. The key is to keep returning to yourself, to your truth, and to your healing intentions. One of the biggest challenges in healing is learning to set boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that protect your emotional space. Many wounded children never learned healthy boundaries because their needs were ignored, violated, or dismissed. So they grew up feeling unsafe to say no or to express what felt right or wrong. Learning to set boundaries is a radical act of self-love. It means recognizing your limits and honoring them. It means saying, "This is okay with me," or "This is not." Boundaries teach others how to treat you. They create safety, respect, and clarity in relationships. But boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to people-pleasing or fearing rejection. You might worry about upsetting others or being abandoned. These fears come from old wounds, but they can be challenged. Practice small boundaries daily. Say no to a request that feels overwhelming. Ask for a break when you're tired. Notice how you feel. Notice how others respond. Over time, boundaries become easier and more natural. Another important part of healing is cultivating self-awareness. This means becoming curious about your feelings, triggers, and patterns. What situations make you feel anxious or angry? When do you retreat or lash out? What memories come up? Awareness doesn't mean judgment. It means observation. It means understanding yourself without blame. Self-awareness allows you to interrupt old patterns. Instead of reacting automatically, you pause. You choose a different response. This creates new neural pathways in your brain. Healing literally rewires your mind. It helps you step out of reactive cycles and into conscious living. Journaling is a great tool for self-awareness. Writing down your thoughts and feelings helps you process and organize them. It also reveals recurring themes and wounds you might not see otherwise. Try to write regularly, even just a few minutes a day. Don't censor yourself. Write what's true. Write what hurts. Write what hopes. Healing also involves learning to feel your emotions fully. Many wounded children learn to numb or hide their feelings because they were overwhelming or unsafe. But emotions are the language of the soul. They tell you what you need and what you're experiencing. Allow yourself to feel sadness, anger, fear, or joy without judgment. Notice where emotions show up in your body. Is your chest tight? Your stomach uneasy? Your shoulders tense? By feeling emotions fully, you can release them instead of holding them inside. This process helps cleanse the wounds and brings relief. If emotions become too intense, it's okay to seek help. Therapists, coaches, or support groups can guide you safely through emotional release. Healing doesn't mean doing it alone, it means doing it with support. Another key to healing is cultivating compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. When we're wounded, it's easy to blame ourselves. If only I were different. If only I hadn't. But self-blame traps us in shame and keeps wounds open. Compassion is the opposite of blame. It's understanding that you did the best you could with what you had. It's recognizing your humanity. It's treating yourself as you would a dear friend who is hurting. Practice compassion daily. When you notice self-criticism, pause, take a breath, say something kind to yourself. Remind yourself that healing is a process, that you are worthy of love and kindness, no matter what. Let's also explore the power of rituals in healing. Rituals create structure and meaning. They help your nervous system feel safe and grounded. They mark moments of transition and growth. Rituals don't have to be religious. They can be as simple as lighting a candle, taking a mindful bath, or saying affirmations. Create rituals that honor your healing journey. Maybe it's a weekly gratitude practice. Maybe it's a daily meditation. Maybe it's a regular walk in nature where you set intentions. Rituals connect you to yourself and to something greater. They remind you that you are worthy of care. Now, let's address the importance of forgiveness of self. Sometimes the deepest wounds come from how we treated ourselves as children. Maybe you felt ashamed for your feelings or blamed yourself for family struggles. Healing includes forgiving the child you were, the parts that survived, that got lost, or that made mistakes. Self-forgiveness is a powerful act of liberation. It frees you from guilt and self-punishment. It opens the door to self-love. Start by acknowledging that your inner child was doing the best they could. Then speak words of kindness to that child. You can say, "I forgive you, I love you," or "You are safe now." As you forgive yourself, you strengthen your capacity to love and accept who you are today. This creates a foundation for deep healing and growth. Let's now discuss the importance of cultivating hope. Hope is the light that guides you through the darkness. It's the belief that things can get better, that healing is possible. Without hope, healing feels overwhelming or even impossible. Nurture hope by celebrating small wins. Every time you show up for yourself, every moment of self-kindness, every boundary set, that's progress. Acknowledge it, celebrate it, keep your eyes on the future you want to create. Surround yourself with inspiration. Read stories of healing, listen to uplifting music, watch films that touch your heart. Find reminders that transformation is possible. These sources of hope fuel your courage and resilience. Finally, healing childhood wounds is about reclaiming your power. Trauma often leaves us feeling powerless, stuck, or lost. Healing means stepping back into your own agency. It means making choices that honor your well-being. It means trusting yourself. You are the author of your story. You are the architect of your healing. Each step you take is a step toward wholeness. It might be slow, it might be messy, but it is yours, and it is worth it. Remember, healing is not about perfection or forgetting. It's about learning to live with your history while creating a new future. A future where your inner child is safe, loved, and free. Where you can fully be yourself, where you can thrive. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing healing. The journey continues, and every step forward is a victory. As we approach the final stages of this journey, it's important to recognize that healing your childhood wounds isn't just about resolving pain, it's about transformation. It's about becoming someone new, someone integrated, conscious, and whole. And one of the most powerful ways to do this is by connecting with your inner child in a consistent and loving way. Imagine your inner child not just as a memory or a metaphor, but as a living part of your psyche. They are still with you, responding to the world with the same fears, longings, and hopes. When ignored, they act out through your adult behaviors, clinginess, avoidance, anger, anxiety. But when nurtured, they become a source of joy, creativity, and inner strength. How do you build this connection? First, talk to your inner child. Yes, literally. Speak aloud, write letters, sit in silence and imagine them with you. Say the words they longed to hear. I see you. You didn't deserve that. You are safe now. I love you. These words might feel awkward at first, but they are healing medicine. Next, play. Wounded children often missed out on the simple joys of play and spontaneity. As adults, we forget that play isn't just for children. It's a vital part of the human spirit. What did you love to do as a child? Drawing? Dancing? Running barefoot in the grass? Let yourself do it again. Without judgment, without purpose, just to be. This reconnects you with innocence and freedom. Also, make space for your inner child in your environment. Create a small altar with childhood photos, toys, or symbols that bring comfort. Carry something with you, a charm, a note, a token, that reminds you of your commitment to this part of yourself. Your inner child deserves a place in your life, not just your memory. Another deep layer of healing is rewriting your narrative. So many wounded children carry a story that sounds like this. I was too much. I was not enough. I caused the pain. I don't deserve love. These narratives aren't true. They are the emotional residue of unmet needs. To heal, you must write a new story, one rooted in truth, one that acknowledges what happened but reframes your identity. Try this. Write your life story from your inner child's perspective and then from your adult self's. Notice the patterns. Notice where love was missing, where needs were denied. Then rewrite those chapters with compassion. You are not broken, you were wounded, and wounds can heal. Healing also means understanding the legacy of your caregivers. This does not mean excusing their behavior, but it does mean gaining perspective. Often our parents or guardians were wounded children themselves, doing the best they could with what they knew. Recognizing this can release you from cycles of resentment and help you step into forgiveness, not for them, but for your own freedom. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or tolerating harm. It means letting go of the burden that keeps you trapped in the past. It's saying, I choose peace over pain. I choose to move forward. It's a gift you give yourself. And now we must talk about the body. Childhood wounds are not only psychological, they are somatic. They live in your nervous system, in your muscles, in your posture, your breath, your chronic tension. Healing must include the body. Start by simply noticing your body. Where do you hold stress? How do you breathe when you're anxious? Where do you feel numb or heavy? The body holds truth that the mind can't always access. Practices like breathwork, yoga, tai chi, or trauma-informed movement can release stored emotions and restore your sense of safety. Even something as simple as placing your hand over your heart and taking slow, intentional breaths can regulate your nervous system. These moments of embodiment help rewire your trauma responses and bring you back to the present. And don't forget sleep, nutrition, and rest. Your body is your home, and healing it physically is part of the emotional journey. Sleep repairs your brain. Food nourishes your cells. Rest teaches your system that it's okay to relax, but survival mode is not forever. There's also the healing power of nature. Nature doesn't ask anything from you. It doesn't judge, compare, or demand. It simply is. Spending time outside, walking in a forest, sitting by water, watching the clouds can ground you, soothe you, and remind you of your connection to something greater. If you feel lost, nature can show you the way home. It reflects the cycles of life: pain, growth, release, renewal. The same cycles are within you. Let nature teach you how to return to yourself. Now, let's talk about connection. One of the deepest wounds for a child is the wound of disconnection, from caregivers, from love, from safety. And one of the most powerful medicines is safe, authentic connection with others. Seek out relationships that nourish your soul. Be brave enough to be vulnerable. Share your story with people who have earned your trust. Allow yourself to be seen, to be heard, to be held. Healing doesn't happen in isolation. We are relational beings. When others offer empathy, when they witness our truth without judgment, our nervous system begins to trust again. Our inner child begins to believe, maybe the world isn't so dangerous. Maybe I don't have to hide. But remember, true connection starts with how you relate to yourself. If you abandon your inner child, it doesn't matter how much love you receive from the outside, it won't feel safe to accept it. But when you meet yourself with compassion, connection with others becomes a natural extension. And finally, let's talk about integration. Healing isn't just about visiting the past. It's about bringing the wounded parts of yourself into the present. It's about becoming whole. Integration means you no longer disown the parts of yourself that were too messy, too emotional, too scared. You welcome them, you embrace them, you let them speak, and you listen. You are not just the adult version of yourself. You're also the child you once were. You are the protector, the nurturer, the one who chooses how the story continues. That is power. That is wholeness. Integration is where healing becomes freedom. It's where you realize you don't have to keep proving your worth. You don't have to keep chasing love. You don't have to keep reliving the same pain. You get to write a new chapter, one where you are safe, one where you are loved, one where your wounds have become wisdom. This is what it means to heal the inner child. It is not a destination. It is a sacred return. So now, as we close this journey together, take a moment to breathe. You've traveled through the tender landscape of your own beginnings, your childhood, your pain, your longings. And along the way, you've seen that healing is not only possible, it's already happening. Every step you take toward awareness, every act of compassion you offer yourself is part of that healing. It all counts. But let's be honest, this journey isn't easy. There will be moments when the old pain returns, when triggers shake you, when you feel like the child again, abandoned, afraid, unseen. And in those moments, it's easy to believe you've gone backward. You haven't. Healing isn't linear, it's a spiral. Sometimes you'll revisit the same wound, but with new strength, new clarity, new tools. And each time you'll go deeper, not into the pain, but into your truth, into the version of you that is no longer defined by the past. That is the gift of doing this work. You become your own protector, your own healer, your own safe place. Let's remember the core truths we've uncovered. You are not your wounds. You are not your trauma. You are not what happened to you. You are the awareness that holds all of it with compassion. You are the adult who gets to choose differently. You are the love that your younger self always needed and now, finally, receives. Healing your childhood wounds isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be, before the world taught you to hide, to shrink, to forget. It's about reparenting yourself with gentleness, speaking to yourself with kindness, surrounding yourself with relationships that mirror back your worth, choosing environments that support your nervous system, setting boundaries that say, I matter. And most of all, it's about embodying a new truth, a truth that says, I am safe now, I am loved now, I belong now. From this place of wholeness, the future begins to look different. You stop repeating old patterns. You stop trying to earn love that should have been given freely. You stop settling for less than you deserve. You start building a life that reflects your inner healing, with peace, creativity, depth, and joy. You start becoming the parent, partner, friend, and human you always wanted to be. The ripple effect is profound. When one person heals their inner child, they become a safer presence for others, a more conscious leader, a more loving partner, a more compassionate parent. You're not just healing for yourself, you're healing for future generations. This is how generational trauma ends. Not in grand gestures, but in quiet, consistent acts of love. In choosing awareness over reactivity. In choosing softness over shame. In choosing presence over pain. You are already doing it. Every time you pause before reacting, every time you sit with your emotions instead of pushing them away, every time you show up for yourself with gentleness, you are breaking the cycle. This is legacy work. You're not just rewriting your story, you're creating a new blueprint for those who come after you. So what comes next? Keep going, keep showing up, keep listening to your inner child. Keep investing in practices that nurture your healing, whether it's therapy, journaling, breathwork, meditation, community, or creative expression. And when you fall, because you will, don't shame yourself. Remember, every fall is an invitation to rise again with more wisdom, more love, more compassion than before. Let this journey be sacred. Let it be slow. Let it be yours. And if you ever doubt the path, remember this: your pain was never your fault, but your healing, your freedom belongs to you, and you are more than capable of claiming it. Thank you for walking this path with me today. If this message resonated with you, if it sparked something inside you, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. When you do, you help this message reach others who might be searching for the same healing, the same hope. Leave a comment below. Tell me what part of this video touched you the most. I read every one. And if you're ready to go deeper, check out the other videos on this channel. You'll find resources, insights, and a community of people committed to conscious growth and healing. Remember, your healing matters, your story matters, and you are never ever alone. Until next time, stay soft, stay brave, and stay connected to your truth. Sure. Here's a universal English outro you can use at the end of each of your 3 videos. It builds anticipation for the next part while inviting engagement. This is just the beginning of the journey. There's so much more to uncover, to feel, and to heal. If this spoke to something deep inside you, don't stop here. Part 2 is coming soon, and what's waiting there might just shift everything. So make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your story matters, your voice matters, and your healing can inspire someone else to begin. I'll see you in the next one. To be continued.